Hey everybody, I just decided I'm just going to go read all of chapter 2, and then I'm just going to go through Howard Zinn's chapters 1, 3, 4, 5, and so on until we're done, because there's not that much in chapter 2, and I honestly want to get my thoughts out on this book, so here we go.
Fear of slave revolt seemed to have been a permanent fact of plantation life. William Byrd, a wealthy Virginia slaveholder, wrote in 1736, "We have already at least 10,000 men of these descendants of Ham, black people, fit to bear arms, and these numbers increase every day, as well by birth as by importation. And in case there should arise a man of desperate fortune, he might with more advantage than Catiline kindle a servile war, a slave revolt, and tinge our rivers, wide as they are, with blood." It was an intricate and powerful system of control that the slave owners had developed to maintain their labor supply and their way of life, a system both subtle and crude, involving every device that social orders employ for keeping power and wealth where it is. As Kenneth Stamp puts it, a wise master did not take seriously the belief that Negroes were natural-born slaves. He knew better. He knew that Negroes freshly imported from Africa had to be broken into bondage, that each succeeding generation had to be carefully trained. This was no easy task, for the bondsman rarely submitted willingly. Moreover, he rarely submitted completely. In most cases, there was no end to the need for control, at least not until old age reduced the slave to a condition of helplessness. The system was psychological and physical at the same time. The slaves were taught discipline, were impressed again and again with the idea of their own inferiority, to know their place, to see blackness as a sign of subordination, to be awed by the power of the master, to merge their interests with their master's, destroying their own individual needs. To accomplish this, there was the discipline of hard labor, the breakup of the slave family, the lulling effect of religion, which sometimes led to great mischief, as one slaveholder reported, the creation of disunity among slaves by separating them into field slaves and house slaves, more privileged slaves. Again, creating a barrier class between a group of people who is oppressed has the effect of dividing those people, right? Think the star-bellied Sneetch. Think of it that way. And finally, the power of law and the immediate power of the overseer to invoke whipping, burning, mutilation, and death. Dismemberment was provided for in the Virginia Code of 1705. Maryland passed a law in 1723 providing for cutting off the ears of blacks who struck whites, and that for certain serious crimes, slaves should be hanged and the body quartered and exposed. Still, rebellions took place. Not many, but enough to create constant fear among white planters. The first large-scale revolt in the North American colonies took place in New York in 1712. In New York, slaves were 10% of the population, the highest proportion in the northern states, where economic conditions usually did not require large numbers of field slaves.